sketches and landscape plans that were submitted. And we're pretty much here to answer any questions that you might have pertaining to that. And hopefully we can help you get through this and get Mr. Patel on his right key to moving forward with the project.
Thanks, sir. All right, at this time, I'll entertain public comments either for or against this item. I'll start on my right. And on my left. Travis?
Travis Horsley, 33 North Whitney. It was a question that we had in the planning commission, and it's great for y'all, but probably is for the chief.
We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. How does one include basically like a police officer's schedule, like a year from now, that if this is passed by this body, that the conditional use expire and doesn't just sort of go into perpetuity? Is there like a master schedule of violations?
So we have a master calendar. I don't know how we would normally deal. I don't know, Chief, you have a,
That's a good question, but I would think right out of the gate, it would probably be the planning commission themselves who bring it back to us. But we could also put it in an Outlook calendar or something like that, and bring it up.
All right, thank you.
thank you. Any other comments on all that?
Rod Matt, 500 King Armor. Mr. Patel talked to us a little while back about paving the property, and I just want to know what's so different about it now.
It's paved.
It is? Because at first he was talking about.
It was gravel before,
Okay.
and it is now paved, correct?
Okay. Is it just for one property?
It serves that plaza over there that's got multiple, the Irish Bread Pub and the Crab Spot and several.
Is he still going to upgrade the extension?
Yes, it's saying the future development.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other public comments on this item? Council?
Yes. Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
I remember this when it was first brought up, because as I recall, Mr. Patel did not ask for permission to pave that lot with a crusher run. It just all of a sudden was crusher run. So it did not go before the design review or the planning commission or any of our planning and zoning. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, and if I'm not mistaken, I've been out of it. Was there permission granted to pave it, or is he just paved it? Was any permission granted?
I came in after that. I don't think he had permission at the time of the crusher run.
I know he didn't have the crusher run. I'm talking about after he paved the crusher run. As it stands now as asphalt. I see that you've got plans and all kinds of ideas now, but I think as I drove by a week or so ago, it's already done.
Correct. The paving is done. The plan that we laid out for them actually amends what's already striped to meet certain code issues, circulation issues. It is my understanding that the Crab Spot had one of their people involved with their company pave that lot, and they were not, that's my understanding, is they were not aware that there was not a permit, so somehow there was a disconnect from you all to the Patels to the Crab Spot, because I think the Crab Spot will be using the majority of that paving. There again, I don't get into the day-to-day
Right.
concerns of the lease and how the lease and who uses what. That's kind of out of my jurisdiction, but that was kind of my understanding.
Well, I'm glad that the Crab Spot is doing good business, that they would perhaps need the overflow. My total problem with this is the lack of concern by Mr. Patel, and I can't believe he doesn't drive by to look to see, oh gosh, somebody's paving my crusher run.
Right.
That he was not aware, and he would know that you do need approval from certainly our planning and zoning, from design review, from many bodies to have that approved before you do it. That's my issue.
Okay.
Any other council comments?
It did strike me as odd that we're voting on a parking lot that exists. But I'm glad it's not gravel, because we know how evil that is.
There was discussion, I mean, maybe we could have asked for a pervious type of surface rather than asphalt, which is impervious, I believe. I don't know what the surface is it asphalt?
Yes, it is asphalt.
Well, it sounds to me like the planning and zoning did a great job of their work, and I'm hoping that it fits all the things that they required. I don't like the order of events, but if it does meet everything, then I guess this is going to be an area of grace that, I don't know, I tear it out, put it back, it seems a little strange. But yes, it is odd, and I understand.
Has any striping occurred?
That striping it has occurred, but it's incorrect, and we made corrections and submitted it to the planning department, your planning department.
So it meets everything that's been asked of, I mean, some of it's after the fact, but it does meet it, everything that we're asking now?
Yes, there are a few small items. One of them is actually, our code requires some trees. I'm a little hesitant with the trees if it's a temporary parking lot. Maybe we can accommodate shrubbery on the interior. But we did indicate the redesign for the striping to allow for that to meet code. That's correct.
Yeah, and I was thinking like Travis on that, it's like a 1-year temporary, but it's asphalt, so, you know, it's not gonna disappear in a year. But surely we got a calendar, we could just stick something on that says to check on that. Why can't we project out month to
We should
month?
probably put a reminder on there, 10 months or so in to follow up.
I mean, I'm sure there's many things that fit that category, not just this.
So what are the plans in 12 months? I guess you have 12 months from today if it passes. That's quick for a hotel. Are there already plans and
My
drawings?
understanding is
And
there have been planning, it's probably in the initial stages, but there have been plans developed. There again, I'm not privy to all that, but there are plans that have been worked on, that he has mentioned to me for that.
'cause I've been,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 1 year makes sense, but it seems very likely that there's gonna need to be an extension, but then when there's a specific plan, it'll be easier for whatever council's in place and planning commission to look at that.
or should this be something that we just keep giving extensions to?
Right.
You know, I kind of hesitate on that. I don't know, I'm just trying to think. You know, when someone does something and then just asks for forgiveness later, you know, it seems to happen a lot. That people just do stuff, and people that know, that should know better. When you own a $1 million plus piece of real estate, you should know when you pay something, you gotta go before the boards. You gotta go before us or the planning commission. Like, I'm sure this is not the only $1 million piece of property he owns. That's just my question, if this happens, well, then what's next? And next, and next. You know, I gotta think 10 years down the road of what kind of events this has, oh, the council will just, if you do it, they'll let you do it, it's fine. Even if you mark it bad, even if it's labeled, because I parked in that parking lot. And I parked in that parking lot a few times when I go over there. You know, and I noticed it says for the craft spot only. You know, I've been there, I've seen it, I parked there, so I just.
One thing I can mention to you, and maybe they're asking for grace on this one. I mean, when it comes down to what we've got to think about too is the patrons and the businesses that are taxpayers to the city of Hateville. They're the ones that actually came to Mr. Patel to petition for this. It appears that maybe the craft spot's taken a large majority of parking, which is squeezing some of the other businesses. So one thing, I understand your concern on his part, but we also got to think that we all patronize some of those businesses, and we need to try to possibly help them out and relieve some of the stress on those businesses. So it's kind of a two-sided coin. I mean, we need to think about both sides in
Absolutely.
the argument.
I definitely see where you're coming from. And then when you say maintain, once again, I've been in that parking lot a lot. I've frequented those parking lots. You know, I go to the Irish Bread Pub, I go to the Mexican restaurant. I used to go to Thai Heaven when it was there. That parking lot is not well maintained. There's trash everywhere, there's stickers on signs, it's not a well-maintained parking lot currently. So what's gonna say, what parking lot shall be maintained? What is that compared to what it is now?
Well, I think what they're probably referring to is the maintenance that is specific to the parking area. You know, striping goes away, wear and tear, and they need to be restriped.
So it's talking about
I'm not sure, I don't think it's talking about the trash, I may be wrong, but as far as the maintenance, if you got a pothole, you need to get it repaired, if striping goes away, you need to repair it.
Physical maintenance, so not
Not maintenance.
not cleanliness.
Correct, correct. That would be a different issue.
Well, that can be a caveat.
Well, I think that's an issue.
I was gonna say, it should
I
fall
think
to the
that's-
owner.
That you add, that's a caveat that you add.
And also, I have a question of, as I go on International Boulevard and past the credit union, I see a lot of limousines, I see Uber drivers waiting on that curb there. Is that also, who's gonna police this? That, there's no
But
shuttle services?
that's gonna be a problem everywhere, though. Doug.
Right.
It's not just over there.
Right.
The Uber problem is everywhere around
Right.
this area, so they're parked all over the place.
Right, I'm just saying that that's another issue with this parking lot.
So I guess how would we write that? Yeah.
It's actually in,
Yeah.
it's actually in the code that the owner or his agent shall be responsible for the maintenance of all landscaping, which should be maintained in good condition so as to present a healthy, neat, and orderly appearance, and should be kept free from refuse and debris. So it's actually in the code, and that's the reference in here. There's more sections, but it's really about the landscaping and certainly about the asphalt and the striping.
So, Rick Lavert, code enforcement issues over there. How are we with code enforcement? Do you know? I'm sort of putting you on the spot with that, but.
Well, I can tell you outside of we got a current citation against the property right now for bringing gas parking lot in like they did. That's on hold pending the outcome of tonight. Other than that, we've had various issues with trash and debris. We cite those at that time. But right now, currently, we have no action against them. We'll do an inspection to see if there is trash and stuff out there.
Yeah. I don't know what it currently looks like, but I know that in the past, I've seen it, there's been complaints about it, about just the amount of refuse that's out there. So, and just the overall, I remember walking by and the gutter was broken, so it's just dripping on the sidewalk, and the sidewalk is filthy, and that's right next to the exit of one of the restaurants that's full of grease, so it gets slick, and it just needs a lot of upkeep.
We can inspect it. We've had various issues with the property throughout the last 5 years or so. Several of them were pretty substantial, including the dumpster area and different things. We have addressed them.
Well, that property was tied up in a foreclosure or something, or a bankruptcy or something, so I know they were financially strapped for a while, which may have perpetuated some of those problems, but, I mean, it would behoove the owners of the property to keep a well-lit, well-maintained parking lot, because that's gonna be better for the patrons. Nobody wants to run around in a dirty parking lot, but, in this situation, I kind of agree with Councilman Raymond. I have to look at, if I don't like the timing of events either. And sometimes that, in our business, sometimes that happens, and we would prefer that it not. But the question I have to ask myself is if the policies and procedures were followed from the beginning, where would we be right now? So that's kind of the way, that's how I would try to look at the situation.
I get that, but I'm glad it came up because the message, the gravel went down without permission. Now this is going down.
Yeah,
In a
exactly.
year, we're gonna have something, or we're gonna know about it before it comes, or is it gonna be built on a holiday weekend? So it's be important that we do things right going forward. But parking is a problem all over Hapeville. It's coming up on other areas. Car wars is for real.
Sure. Any other council comment? Okay, all right, with that being said, is anybody prepared to make a motion on this item?
So moved.
Motion to,
Move.
motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Second discussion.
So, in a year from now, where will we be? City? We'll just, we could be right back here
With a clean
That's an
parking lot.
extension.
with a properly striped parking lot. That's not properly striped now.
It would
Asking
be,
for an extension, most likely.
correct, if there were no development plans in process, then I guess it would be up to the applicant to come back and request an extension. And then it would be at your discretion whether or not to grant that extension.
I've just,
Your question has to do with if they have not complied with the conditions set forth by the planning commission in 1
You
year.
have to wait a year on that.
no, I'm just wondering where, in a year, where are we gonna be? Because we had that Bill O'Brien project, and we had Bill O'Brien sign this paper that said, we will waive your code enforcement tickets if you get them cleaned up and you have something built in a year. It's probably been a year and a half, and this board has done nothing about it. So that's my question, is like, and then the Porsche thing, where we said in 6 months, we're gonna look at Porsche, see if they should pay any money. This board, we didn't do anything about it. It's just, it seems like we do stuff with the best intentions in mind, and it just doesn't happen. That makes sense. Like, I don't mind us bringing it forward and it getting shot down. That was fine. Like, the Porsche thing, I just felt like we should bring it forward and look at it, and we decided not to make it pay, and that's fine. But I think this is a habitual thing that happens, and I think it needs to stop somewhere. I don't know where, if it stops here, or if it stops with the next person. What do we do next? As a board, as a city, I don't know. It's something that I've been thinking a lot about, obviously. So.
Okay. Further council discussion, comment? There being none, all in favor, Commissioner, raise your right hand. All opposed? That leaves a 2-2 tie. Under the circumstances, and I will reach out to Mr. Patel to discuss the cleanliness issues that you raised, Josh. On the situation with Porsche, you said we did nothing about that. However, we did review the call ratio over there.
Yeah,
The council decided that it didn't put a drain on our system, so.
yeah, but it took months of me pushing to try to get it to happen.
I understand. But sometimes we mix these issues together. I think in this situation, we have to look at the conditional use. I look at the fact that there's a major parking problem over there. Councilman Ram has mentioned that we've got a major parking problem around Hapeville that we're going to work to build more parking places for our downtown, for our other businesses. And in this situation, we have a business that's very successful. They are a taxpayer. We supported the very controversial vote, if you remember correctly, on the Crab Spot. And the Crab Spot is a raging success, and they need the parking spaces for their patrons. The other issues are code enforcement issues, and if anyone sees trash or a condition over there that's unacceptable, they need to let our police department know, or let one of the council member know, so we can take care of it and make sure it gets cleaned up. So sometimes, again, I think all these things sit on the stove and all get blended into one soup. So I'm going to try to bifurcate the parking issue from the other issues, and I will cast a vote in the affirmative to support the conditional use permit, because we've got a year to take a look at it. We have lots of teeth in the conditions that are in there, and if there's an issue that can be dealt with, if there's a failure on their part, then we would bring that back and we would pull that conditional use. That's the beauty of conditional use. It falls to the power of council. So as long as staff will make a commitment that they will place this item on the calendar for review within 10 months from the effective date of the conditional use, that way we get it out ahead enough of for advertising and whatnot. It may need to be 9 months, not 10 months. So, with that being said, I will cast a vote from.
I respect what she did as well.
I concur. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, that will close our public hearing portion of our meeting, and the next item is question on agenda items. We have a consent agenda, and then, so your questions on agenda items can involve anything that's on the consent agenda or the new or old business coming up, and of course, as always, we'll have general comments. So with that being said, I'll take comments, and I'll start on my left. Sweet.
My name is Mickey Williams. I reside at 3333 Myrtle Street, Cahill. And I'd like to speak to 2 items that are on the agenda, 7.4 and 7.5. 7.4 is consideration and action to approve resolution 2017-11 water and sewer fund transfer. I believe that unless something has happened that hasn't been published, we have a problem. How can we borrow money from a non-existent entity? At the request of the mayor, our water and sewer authority was abolished on July 1st, 2017. Prior to that, the water sewer authority met last fall, transferred assets from the water sewer authority, assets identified as property from the water sewer authority to the city. Money was still left in that fund. The money was not transferred. The water sewer authority was established as a result of the state legislature at the request of the mayor and council. The purpose of having a water sewer authority is to protect citizens so that we have an arm's length board who will be looking at rates, looking at services, looking at being able to pay off our debt, but more importantly, being able to have enough money left in reserves to take care of the water sewer issues we have. This year, we were told in budget time that you all were projecting $6 to $8 million in repair for water sewer. I have no idea where that money's coming from, but y'all saw fit to abolish the water sewer authority. At that time, when it was abolished, the city charter was not changed. According to our city charter, we still have a water sewer authority. So my question is, we can't change that charter without having either going to the state legislature or having hearings to change it. Have we had any hearings to change our charter to do away with the water sewer authority? I have not been to any, nor do I know of any. According to the official city charter, the water sewer authority is still in existence and there are remaining funds of $2.6 million in the fund. There are 2 ways to change it, I said. One is going to the state. The other one is to have public hearings and change our charter through that. That takes 6 to 8 weeks. Since you all wanted to total control over the water sewer funds, the mayor entered into a contract back in October with a lobbyist without your approval to abolish this. Citizens didn't get a chance to do anything about it, nor did you all approve it, but Mayor, you entered into a contract with a lobbyist to do this. It was pushed through the General Assembly in a hurry, perhaps too much in a hurry that we didn't think about changing our charter. Now the city wants to borrow $2 million of this money from a non-existent authority. And what happens when you borrow that money? Who's it paid back to? Jim Schuster said, sitting in this room 2 years ago, when I asked, are you using water sewer money to run the general fund? He said, yes. 3 other people said, oh, no, we don't have a water sewer authority. Jim Schuster said, yes. We asked for documents that showed where the city has borrowed a note, has borrowed from the water sewer authority because it was in existence, and paid that money back to the city. According to Ms. Elkins, there is no such document or no such documents So we borrowed money, I guess, according to Mr. Schuster, and we did something with it, whether it's paid back or not. According to you all, the Water Sewer Authority has been a cash cow. And if you look at the fact that we are now in the first quarter of a new fiscal year, and the Water Sewer Authority has $2.5 million sitting in it, was that an anomaly? Has that happened every year? If it was a cash cow, all of a sudden this money's sitting there. So if it's happened every year, we sold bonds in 2001, today's 2017, that's 16 years. So if we had $2 million left over every year, where's the $32 million? It's just so we only had $1 million left. Where's the $16 million?
You driving to a question, Ms. Williams?
Yes, sir, I am. But there's some facts that we need to go through first.
Well, this is comments or questions, not lecture time, so. if you're
These
driving to a
are
question-
comments, sir. These are
If you're
comments.
driving to a question, you can
Okay.
drive to your question. But
Okay, I'll do that. Due to the increase in our commercial taxes, the city is slated to receive approximately $6 million in taxes by the end of this year. 6.5, I believe. That, at the end, or excuse me, the beginning of fiscal year that we're in right now, we had $350,000 sitting in the bank. It costs us $1 million a month to run this place. So we had a third of what it's going to cost. We were in the hole already, $650,000 in July. We had all of August, that's $1 million. We had all of September, that's $1 million. We borrowed two, according to your numbers, we're going to get $6.5 million at the end of this year when all the money comes in. We got to pay back $2 million. My math is not great, but that leaves us, I believe, with $4.6 million, and we need $6 million. What are we going to do when we run out of money here? We're borrowing $2 million here, but we can't keep borrowing our way out of debt. We have got to tighten our belts. We have just increased our taxes again. What does that mean? That we're going to put money in the bank? I appreciate what you said. Let's have a reserve. The numbers that are produced today that show how much money we had are not the same as what you all brought to us and what you said in the State of the City address. According to that, we had a lot of money. We had a lot of money in reserves. Again, where is the money? Last thing. I'm asking the three members, who are the lame duck members here, to do something that will show who you are before you leave office. I'm asking you to consider. There are 6 items that cause anybody to say, oh my gosh, we shouldn't have done that and we need an audit. Number 1, Georgia DCA says that our records, our financial records, are a mess. They don't believe them, and they said out
We're not
loud.
discussing DCA on the agenda item.
This goes to what I'm saying. Water sewer funds should be in the millions. Where did they go? Mayor said in the city that we were in good financial shape. We had $1.4 million in the bank. Where did that go? We passed the budget. Now we're having to go back and borrow money just to operate the budget. Water sewer funds, water sewer funds, hotel motel funds are all commingled in our general fund. Then you're saying that you know how much money is in the water sewer? How do we know that? Everything is in one pot, and I believe that was done intentionally. After 7 years, the city still does not have adequate staff in our financial department. Our auditors have said since day one, you do not have enough staff. So what do we do when we get enough staff? We pull one of our main people to be making the city manager. Now we're curtain again. We don't have any staff. We're going to bring in temporary help. Y'all think these things through, please. We need a forensic audit desperately. If citizens don't realize the condition that we're in, you're going to wake up one day and realize that your water sewer funds were paying higher than anybody else. I suspect we're paying the highest in Metro Atlanta. So I'm suggesting if we don't step forward and look at where our money is, especially here, this cash cow, we should have $32 million in the bank. We've got to do something. I'm asking Michael and Josh and Diane to please step forward and ask for a forensic audit. These are all the reasons and they're for. The water sewer, if y'all act on that tonight, I believe you're gonna be acting in error. We still have a charter that says we have a water sewer authority and that money belongs in our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on agenda items on my left? On my right, comments or questions on agenda items? Okay. We'll get into the consent agenda. Is there any item in the consent agenda that anyone wants to hold or further discussion on?
I have 7.3 and 7.6 and I guess 7.4.
And you would like,
Those pulled for discussion.
3, 4, and 1.
Uh,
all right, let's go to, we'll just start the discussion at 7.4. And I would like to ask Tim if he would like to opine as to 7.4.
I can't speak to the authority portion, but I can speak to the portion that it is standard practice from municipalities that I've worked in that basically you can be general fund users and internal funding first before they look for external funding. We do plan on borrowing $2 million from our water and sewer fund 501. We do plan on receiving our taxes, about around $6 million or whatever the exact collected amount is by December, and we plan on transferring that back to the water and sewer fund. Part of this is due to the delay of Fulton County getting our tax digest. Normally we were billing by September and cashed up by October. This is a delay, and we won't be billing until October and getting our cash until, that portion of the cash until late November or December.
So is any council, any questions for Tim on that?
Yeah, I have a question. So I asked, I know this wasn't you, but I asked William, where is it? What our reserves funds were, I think sometime this summer. And it was 1.14 million. So because we haven't collected taxes, is that our burn rate that we're going through? Is that why we're gonna need to collect that 2 million?
That's correct. Basically, the general fund runs about $800,000 a month, roughly, in total costs. Now, we have other collections that come in other than taxes, but our net difference without any taxes, coming in, is about $300,000 a month that we don't have until we get our taxes in. So yeah, 6 months at 300,000, there's about